Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and many of you know I've talked about this previously when I reviewed Bad Grandpa starring Johnny Knoxville. I've been on this big kick for Jackass, where I've been watching the movies and stuff a few weeks back. I literally burned through all four films in like just a few days. I grew up on those movies, mainly 1 and 2. I hadn't seen 3 as much, and I hadn't seen 4 except for like one time. And as I tried to review those, it occurred to me very quickly it would be hard to review a Jackass movie, because it's really subjective whether you like those or not. Yeah, you can talk about the different stunts, but it's also like kind of a highlight reel. And with the fourth one, it's usually people just complaining about the new cast members, and rightfully so, a lot of the time. But anyway, when I was younger, I loved the Jackass TV show. My cousins got me into it. It was an MTV show. And I really, really loved that show. We even also had a friend that was more of my younger cousin's friend, but I knew him too. He did like a local broadcast show, where he did like a Jackass type of thing, but way less dangerous. Like it was like trying to do a pogo challenge, for example, on a pogo stick for like 20 jumps or 30 jumps. So it was kind of like a dare thing that he did, but it was like by himself with a camera set up in like a parking lot or like in his backyard. It was kind of funny. But anyway, those were the good old days of TV. And things like Jackass used to be really fun. It is amazing to me how long Jackass was around before I even knew about it. I didn't know until when I bought this box set recently after watching the movies again and having such a good time. It didn't occur to me that you could even get Jackass in a box set. So I bought it immediately. The weirdest thing is like the third disc of my set's kind of dirty, but it worked. I tried to clean it as best I could. I could not get like these little kind of dirt marks that are real, like some kind of mark on the disc. It's not like disc rot or anything like that. I know what that looks like. I've had discs do that in the past. Very rarely, but it still happens. That's not what this was. It was dirty and whatever. But the show itself, I watched the whole thing this week. It's only really 3 discs long with kind of like a where are they now, and maybe a couple of bonus things on a 4th disc. There's also a booklet in the box set, which is pretty nice. I didn't look through that as much, but that's kind of weird that of all things from the 2000s, I would have a set and a book in the set that would be Jackass of all things. So anyway, this show, for anybody who doesn't know about it, it's basically when MTV was really focused on skateboarding dudes, but these guys really kicked that off. All of these guys on the show pretty much were skateboarders of some sort or some kind of extreme sports guys. I think there was even a segment in this show that had like Tony Hawk and Matt Hoffman, I think, was in here too at one point. I know they were in the movies, some of the movies, but they were like definitely here. There was even a really funny episode to me, a really quick segment in the episode with Shaq was here. I love Shaq. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like one of those dudes that when I was growing up, I had just kind of missed the Michael Jordan era, but like his legacy was throughout the 90s. So like when I was a kid, I knew who Michael Jordan was. Everybody did. I don't even like basketball. I never have been a fan of it. Just not a sports guy except for hockey. Kind of had a football phase. But point is, I've always loved Shaq. He is so funny and genuine. I would love to meet that guy and talk to him. He just seems like such a great dude. But anyway, the Shaq episode was super funny in here, by the way. I just wanted to bring up the fact that Shaq, at one point, Wee Man tells him, like, hey, I want you to get on my back. I want to see if I can hold you up. And they do it. And Wee Man is able to do it. How wild is that? If you don't know who Wee Man is, by the way, he's one of the cast members in this show, one of my favorites in the show and the movies. He's a midget, and I love him. He is so funny, dude. His personality and everything. He's one of the funniest people I've ever seen in TV. He is such a light in this show and such a breath of fresh air in the show. Usually the show is just vomiting, getting hurt, doing dangerous stunts, or making people, trying to fuck with people in public, like trying to do pranks in public to make people react and not knowing they're on camera. And Wee Man and these other guys, when they do stuff like what Wee Man does, where it's just trying to make other people actually laugh, Wee Man is so funny at that. I love that guy. But getting back to the general show, like I said, usually a lot of the time it's pranks, but I forgot that they used to do dares on this show too. And it's a little bit different from the movies. It's obviously shot more poorly. I didn't realize that this show, by the way, came out from the year 2000 to 2002, and yet I don't even think I was watching it until the heavy reruns in like 2000, maybe 6 and 7. I think I was 11 and 12 when my cousins showed me this show over at my grandparents' house. And it just, dude, we would watch it endlessly because MTV would do block marathons of this show, and it never got old. It never stopped being funny. But yeah, there's like other things like Where Are They Now documentaries and stuff like that. Apparently there's lost episodes on a DVD somewhere too. I might try to get that sometime. Maybe I'll review it for you guys. But this is just for the basic box set you can buy. That should be on Blu-ray in my opinion because this is super fun. But getting back to the different cast members, my favorite is always going to be Johnny Knoxville. That dude, I've said it in my review for Bad Grandpa. I'm going to say it here again. I may have to do some kind of marathoning of Johnny Knoxville movie performances at some point, no matter what they are, because I love that guy. I think he is genuinely talented. It's sad that his career had to be based so much around Jackass, because he's our Johnny Knoxville excuse me, he's our Jack Nicholson, like I said in my Bad Grandpa review. He is my generation's Jack Nicholson, and he's up there now. He's like in his 50s now, or late 40s, something like that. And here we are, he's about to do Jackass number 5 with most of the crew here again. And it's, dude, he just deserves better. He's so talented. I love Johnny Knoxville. And then probably my second favorite on the show, aside from maybe Wee Man, the ranks change up all the time. Bam Margera's here. I love the segments when Bam is messing with his mom and dad, Phil and April. Phil, I love him. He's such a down-to-earth dude. There's one episode involving him, one segment, I guess you could say, because there's so many segments crammed into here, of him dressed up in an Elvis outfit and doing this little jig that Elvis does. Dude, it was so good. It was so good. I love Phil, man. But Bam cracks me up. I really hope Bam Margera's doing well now with the sobering. He's been into sobriety, trying to get away from a lot of the things he was dealing with, and I really hope he's feeling better, man, because I love Bam. He's supposed to be in Jackass 5 when it comes out this year, so I'm really excited about that. It'll be good to see him again. I think it's going to make all of us happier to see him here, because he wasn't in Jackass 4, in case you didn't know, or Jackass Forever, whatever you want to call it. Ryan Dunn. I love Ryan Dunn. He's gone now. He's been gone for, 10 years now? Something like that? Maybe a little bit longer? I really love Ryan Dunn. It is so weird seeing him in this show the majority of the time not having a beard. I didn't recognize him at first. It really threw me off, man. You have some of the other guys I enjoy too. I pretty much like the whole cast. Steve-O and Chris Pontius are always kind of weird, but they seem like they'd be cool to talk to. And Chris Pontius is always doing the party boy stuff. My wife and I laugh every time that he does this. One of my favorites in here of this entire series is when he does the party boy like in local shops in hidden camera, and he just like starts kind of almost sexually harassing the employees at these stores, or the owners at these stores, and like won't stop trying to dance up on them. It never gets old, man. It never gets old to me. There's never one that's not funny. There was one with Johnny Knoxville in a segment where he, and I think it was Dave England, who I also think is better in the show than in the movies. Dave seems cooler when I watched him here. They get makeup and stuff to look like an old man and an old woman, and they went out on the streets, and if I remember correctly, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe Johnny Knoxville was with a real elderly woman, like his grandma or something. I can't remember. It's been a couple of days. But there was one where he was like, a younger woman and a younger guy, I think they walked by, something like that, and Johnny Knoxville like caught up a conversation with them and then said something to his quote-unquote wife, like, why don't you have a butt like that, or something like that about the girl that they were talking to. Dude, it was so funny. And it was kind of one of those things like where elderly couples always bicker and fight. I remember my great-grandparents used to do this years ago. If we were at church and my great-grandpa used to get mad at my great-grandma for talking to people in the parking lot, when I was really young, like 7 or 8 years old, he would start honking the horn. And I'm not talking about like a beep beep. I'm talking about a beep, like holding the fucking button down on the steering wheel just to piss her off in a funny way. And she'd get mad and be like, "Oh, Ed, shut up." Like swinging her hand and stuff outside of the car. God, they were so funny, man. I miss both of them so deeply. But, but anyway, that segment made me think about my great grandparents, as weird as that was. But anyway, this show is so much fun, man. I love the cast. People like Preston Lacey. Again, I think he's super cool. Seems like a really down-to-earth guy that would be cool to talk to. I think I pretty much covered all the people that I remember off the top of my head. Yeah, as far as I can tell. There was one, too, that I don't think I've ever seen this segment. I was talking to my boss about it. He's about my age. We were talking about it the other day, where they had one guy named, I think his name was Rick. I don't think I ever remember this guy. I don't know him, as far as I know. But they shaved the top of his head, put him in a business suit, and gave him this really awful-looking toupee. And he was supposed to go out on the street and sneeze really, really loud, obnoxiously near people on the street in a hidden camera way, once again, because I think that's when Jackass is its absolute best, by the way, if I haven't said that already. Their public pranks are the best ones. But when he would sneeze, his toupee would fly off onto the floor. And sometimes he would act like, I guess most of the time, if I think about it, actually, he would just act like he didn't know that it fell off and just walk away and leave the toupee on the side of the street. And, like, you'd have kids come by being like, "Ooh, look, Dad." Dude, it was so... I love this show. It brings me back to a day and age when things were genuinely funny. It was okay to be offensive to literally anybody. And you could be funny and offensive, but not, like, mean about it sometimes, if you could make that make sense, if that can make sense at all. When Jackass is at its absolute worst to me, whether it be in the movies or whether it be in this show, it's when they do the puke gross out stuff. I just don't like that stuff. I don't really like horror movies where people puke and shit. I don't like stuff that doesn't have a purpose, and a lot of the gross out stuff from Jackass feels a lot of the time to me like filler content, like they just didn't know what to do, so they decided to do something really gross. For example, here, they did this one thing where it was like, they did 2 different challenges. I'm not even kidding. I think they were almost back-to-back within a couple of segments of each other. It was probably one episode, and then the next episode if you actually looked at the listings of them. But they did this thing. One of them was an eggnog challenge for a Christmas-themed episode segment, and I think the one before it, they were actually, like, there was a movie they were referencing, but they actually had to eat, like, I think it was hard-boiled eggs, and they were trying to see if they could put down, like, 50 or something. Or I don't remember what the number was. But they literally had buckets everywhere, and it was, like, Preston Lacey, another guy from, like, behind the camera, I think, maybe another skateboarder, I don't know. And I think it was Johnny Knoxville's girlfriend or wife at the time, or newest wife, I don't know. I know he's been married a few times. I think this was his newest wife that he's still with. I could be wrong. But they were doing challenges, and all of them were puking, and, like, the woman would puke all delicately like women do. But, like, and then Preston and the other guy would just make the most horrid sounds ever. And literally, they had a bucket between them. They would literally almost puke on each other, and I think they even did a little bit sometimes. It was fucking nasty. I don't like when Jackass does that, and to be honest with you, I was hoping for some humor or some funnier moments, maybe some funnier reactions from, like, some of the other cast, and then it occurred to me a lot of the time those guys weren't even there, so, like, you didn't even get the really funniest moments of the laugh-out-loud commentary from them. I think the one where they were in a park eating the eggs, I think Johnny Knoxville was there, if I remember correctly. I don't remember if he was in the Christmas one, though. It's been a couple of days. Like I said, probably been about 5 days since I watched that this week. But the gross out stuff isn't as funny. I never thought it was as funny. I think that they could really make Jackass 5 a special movie if they did public pranks. I don't even need you to put your 50-year-old ass in a dangerous scenario where you could get hurt really badly or killed, because I love all these guys. I want them to be around. We've already lost Ryan from an incident that didn't relate to Jackass. But I love these other guys, and I want them to be okay. I pray for them all the time. I know that sounds stupid, but I do. Because I love these guys, and I appreciate them. I'm very nostalgic about all of them. I was never even a skateboarding kid, but you didn't have to be to enjoy this show. It was fun. It was kind of the epitome of cool back then, which is weird to say, but they were. These guys were so talented, and for what they were doing, how they were entertaining while they did these things. They were kind of like YouTubers before YouTube really took off. And that was the fun part. But they had a TV show of it, like I said. And you even had people on YouTube mimicking this show. That's how big of a deal it was. But, yeah, the gross out stuff doesn't appeal to me as much. It's everything else, all the hidden camera pranks and stuff. If Jackass 5 was literally just that, and not so much like dares, you could do dares, but not like gross out shit, like what I was talking about a minute ago. You could make that so fun, and people would go and pay bukus of amounts of money. I don't need people to get hurt for me to be entertained. That's usually the accusation of the Jackass fandom. I don't feel that way, even though these guys were willing to do that, and they did some stupid shit, like messing with sharks and stuff, messing with bulls and stuff. You don't do that. These guys were protected by God so many times, where they could have been gorged or anything, dude. Or gored. Isn't it gored when a bull stabs you with its horn? Anyway, they could have been murdered terribly by some dangerous-ass animals. And God put his hand over all of them. So anyway, I had a great time with Jackass. It has good music. It's filmed kind of shittily, but that's what TV looked like for these kind of reality TV shows back then. The stunts are usually really fun. The hidden camera stuff is the bomb. The pranks are the bomb. They can make you laugh so much. It's not a perfect show, but it's a really good one. And like I said, I love the movies too. My favorite movies in the series, even though I like 1 and 2, well, I like 1 okay. It's probably like, I don't know, I think 2 is my favorite and 3 is probably my next favorite. 1 is solid, but 1 to me is a very mixed bag, kind of like how this show overall is. But I think in a lot of ways, I think I enjoyed... I don't know how to explain it, but I think I like the show more than that first movie, even though the first movie has some really good gags in there, like Ryan Dunn and the condom car. But 2 and 3 are my favorite Jackass films, but I can watch those first 3 over and over again. It's 4 that's really the one that me and a lot of people are just not thrilled about. It's not a terrible movie. I still have a good time. It's just not the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? But anyway... I really enjoy Jackass. If you've never seen it, you should check out the show. You should watch the movies especially to really get a good grasp on whether you would like this or not. The only thing, though, in this box set, it's censored, at least in the U.S. release that I have here. The movies are not. The movies have nudity and stuff constantly in them. And since it's a group of guys, it's almost always just male nudity, pretty much always. I don't think there was ever a naked female in Jackass, ever. Which is whatever. I don't care. But the point is... This box set is censored. The movies are not. So if you decide to try Jackass out for the first time, if you've never heard about this, if you're younger, or if you remember hearing about it, you never tried it out, and you go to the movies first, just be warned, it's severe. Just letting you know on what's censored and what's not, and the major difference between the two. Either way, I think you'll have a good time if you have a sense of humor. Anyway, what do you think about Jackass, the movies, the show? Let me know all that down below. Who's your favorite cast member or your top 3? What are your favorite stunts they did in the show? I'd love to hear all that down below too. Thank you all for watching, guys. MTV is gone. Jackass might as well be gone until Jackass 5 comes. And that's sad. But, it was good times. Good memories, good nostalgia, and a good childhood. So anyway, thank you guys. God bless you again. Catch you later, and goodbye.